Good morning, David Blaustein.
Good morning, sir. I heard a rumor.
Yes.
I heard that you are going to be in town next week.
I am going to be in town next week.
Now, are you by any chance going to a Mets game while you're here?
I will be partaking in at least 2 Mets games.
Oh, so you already have tickets?
Yes.
Okay, because I could have hooked you up for Saturday.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh.
I think so.
Well,
hit me up on Twitter or Facebook, and if you're interested, we'll discuss.
We will talk. My people will call your people.
Because the tickets will cost you nothing.
Oh, all right. Maybe we'll see. Well, I got to see a couple of Broadway shows, too, so...
Of course you do.
Of course I do. So,
what are you going to see, Kinky Boots?
No, I want to go see Once, and I also want to go see that Tom Hanks play. That was written
well,
by
if you can get tickets to Tom Hanks, I might be able to help you with that too. If you can't, but also know that the Tom Hanks play is amazing. And I can't speak to Once right now because I saw it with the original cast, and with the original cast, it was outstanding. I'm sure it's still outstanding, and it's also an extremely unique Broadway experience.
Right. All right. That's David Blaustein, who has all things New York travel agency-wise, including movies.
I'm your concierge. I'm your New York City concierge.
Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson star in a new movie called The Internship, along with part owner of the radio station, John Goodman. What do we think of this one, David Blaustein?
He's in every movie,
isn't he? He is in every movie.
Well, he's great. Too bad the rest of the movie isn't that good. This is just really an unfortunate situation because Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson are exactly the same in this movie like they are in every other single movie. And, that used to be a good thing, but it's not a good thing anymore. Reinvent yourself, come up with new jokes, come up with different ways to be funny. And that's not what they do here. They do play these 2 40-year-old guys, or at least in their early 40s. They just lost their jobs as watch salesmen. They worked for John Goodman's character. And so what are they going to do? They have to reinvent themselves. And how are they going to do that? They're going to get an internship at Google. Now, it's kind of ridiculous that they would get an internship at Google, and maybe they thought that would be really funny, and I suppose it's sort of funny. The thing is, these 2 characters who are 40 or 41 years old are written, and this is no offense to anybody who's above the age of 75. I'm using my mother as an archetype here because my mother barely knows how to use a computer, even though she's been using the same one for years, calls me up, has been asking me the same questions for the last 15 years. She has friends who don't have computers. She has friends who have computers in their house, but they're afraid to plug them in because they might get an email and they might have to respond to it. Right. I mean, that's what at least I'm dealing with, and that's my experience with people who tend to be over the age of 75. Not saying all of them are like that, but some of them happen to be like that. And these 2 characters are written like that, and it's so silly. It just seems stale because I don't actually know anyone around their age who is that inept with technology. And these 2 are so incredibly inept with technology that they barely use their cell phones, and that's just that's sort of an odd thing and just doesn't ring true. And again, not that it has to, because next week we're going to talk about a comedy that's the premise is completely ridiculous, but it's probably one of the funniest movies I think I've ever seen. I'm not going to say what it is, but we'll talk about it next week. Whereas this is also a silly premise, but it's just not that funny. The people who the supporting cast here is really good. Whether it's Josh Gad or anybody else in this particular cast, they're funny, and I give Vince Vaughn and Owen Wilson credit for allowing the people around them to be funny, but they're trying to be funny too, and it just doesn't work. So there are moments where you will laugh out loud. So again, it's one of those things, if you're at home and it happens to be on Netflix and you want to stream it and watch it, then by all means do it. You won't feel like you wasted your money, but I'm not going to tell you to spend $9, $10, $11, or $12 on this movie in a theater.
John Goodman just called. He wants to talk to you after the show. No, I'm kidding you. All right, moving along. Ethan Hawke is in a new movie, opens tonight, The Purge. What are your thoughts on that one?
Whoa. Wow. Well, The Purge is an interesting premise, to say the least. It takes place really, I think, 9 years from now in the future. And the United States has reorganized its government and has found a way to solve crime.
Hey, great.
The crime rate is now down to something like 0.1%. And the reason is because one night a year, for 12 hours, they have something called the Purge. And during the Purge McGraw, you can go out, you can kill, maim, rape, steal, beat do whatever you want to whomever you want just to get your aggression out for one night. And again, there are no cops. The hospitals are closed. So, like, let's say the purge begins at 7 o'clock. So you could beat someone near to death at 7:01, and nobody is going to come help them until after 7 o'clock the next morning. It is so dumb. It is one of the dumbest movies I feel like I have ever seen. 30 years ago, the premise may have been interesting, but it's not. That the way that they play it and the way that it is written is just one. It's almost to the point where it's irresponsible almost. And these are people, I mean, I like Ethan Hawke, Lena Headey from Game of Thrones, who plays Cersei. She's also excellent in everything she does. And, you know, they do the best with what they have, but what they have is just, it's garbage. So 1 out of 5 stars.
Wow. All right. Well, 2 tough ones this week, but your tease for next week, you will review one of the best movies you've ever seen.
One of the funniest comedies I think I've ever seen. I just cannot imagine a movie being funnier than the movie I'm going to tell you about next week.
There's a tease for next week.
It's up there. It was unexpectedly funny. I mean, I thought going in it had a chance. It was either going to be incredibly dumb and not funny, or it was going to be really funny, but it was better than really funny.
David Blaustein, I will check base with you on our social networks, and have a good weekend.
You too, sir.
David Blaustein here with the Internship and the Purge.